to get things done quick and early, at least make a statement with a goal and kind of set a tone in this game. Let's take a look at the starters for the Simon Fraser clan. Goalkeeper is Luciano Trasolini. Also starting for them, Lucas McElveen, Joost Mongert, Quinn Dawson, Mamadi Kamara, Michael North, Eric DeGraff, Matteo Pilizini, and also Connor Glennon, Raheem, and Marcello Polizzi. For the Seattle Pacific Falcons, their goalkeeper is Lars Helleran. Also, Mario Vukic starts for the Falcons, as well as Travis Swallow, Reed Baez, Jacob Bowl, Titus Grant, Alex Malia, Alden Massey, Ed Wise, Jose Benavides, and Nick Ryerson. So again, they're getting all set here this evening. We actually have nice weather around us, as just a few clouds here and there, but overall it's a nice crisp fall night here on Saturday, October 6th at just a little bit of ways from Seattle Pacific University campus. Earlier today, a tough loss for the volleyball team as they hosted a very good Alaska Anchorage team, a power in GNAC, and had the opportunity to do public address for that one as the Falcons got off to a very good start, winning the first two sets and really forcing Alaska Anchorage to go into the intermission and have to search for some answers. Well, they did find those answers. They made adjustments, came out in the third set, and were able to get things turned around. They just changed their blocking scheme and were able to get a victory in the third set, the fourth set, force it to the fifth set, and then they won 15-12 in that fifth set. So a tough loss for the Falcons for the women, and they are now going to be heading out for 4 games on the road before returning back to Royal Brome Pavilion for their next home match, which will be on Thursday, October 25th against Central Washington. Now, taking a look at the women's soccer team, good news for them earlier today. They came up with a 2-1 road victory at Montana State Billings. That was an early one. Megan Moore setting up Julia DeVere for the Falcons' first goal and then scored the game winner just 3 minutes into the second half. Now, next up, the Falcons will host league-leading Concordia of Portland coming up on Thursday at 7 o'clock. These two teams still getting set to come out on the field, as we anticipated that was going to get started a little while ago, but they're taking time coming out of the locker room and getting set for tonight's matchup. What's interesting about how this plays out tonight, the last time the Falcons played the nation's top-ranked team, they emerged victorious. Can that happen again? Last time it was Seattle Pacific upsetting, and at that time, number 1, Simon Fraser. That was on a 2-1 score on October 3rd right here at Interbay Stadium in Seattle. And the Falcons certainly hope that history can repeat itself this evening as they faced, once again, number 1 ranked team in the nation, the Simon Fraser clan, as these two teams will get started. I think it's going to go a little bit past 7 o'clock, and we can anticipate that they will probably get going about 7:05 because they have to bring the starters out to get things rolling tonight. And then we've got the 2 national anthems before we get going here on this nice fall evening at Interbay Stadium. If you get a chance, if you're nearby the stadium and you're keeping track of what's going on, why don't you come on out and support the Falcons? The more the merrier as they get ready to go. And this is just a beautiful facility, as now we see the officials coming out there, the center officials, and also we've got the 2 assistant referees to get things going in their yellow tops, as the teams will soon be introduced by public address announcer Bill Abelson. Again, Mark Ockett bringing you the action on SPUFalcons.com. Remember, throughout the year, you can catch all the home action for Seattle Pacific University at Royal Brome Pavilion or here at Interbay Stadium on SPUFalcons.com, as we try to get you covered and keep you covered throughout the world on the World Wide Web. As players making their way out right now for Simon Fraser, everybody just kind of taking their time to get set and going. Something that's really interesting is that Simon Fraser won GNAC from 2010 to 2013, and then Seattle Pacific won the conference in 2014 and 15. Simon Fraser has won it the last 2 years in 16 and 17, so it's either been Simon Fraser or Seattle Pacific for the length of this decade. Those are the two teams that dominate. Simon Fraser in the preseason picks was picked on top, and Seattle Pacific picked to finish in second place. So it looks like the Clan have made their way out onto the field. Or let's check and see. They have switched around on the uniforms a little bit here tonight. And now here come your Seattle Pacific University Falcons as they are making their way out on the field. Again, I'll go through that for you. For the Falcons, Lars Helleran is it goalkeeper, Mario Vukic. Also playing Travis Swallow, Reed Baez, Jacob Bowl, Titus Grant, Alex Mejia, Alden Massey, Ed Wise, Jose Benavides, and Nick Ryerson. And a recap for the Simon Fraser Clan: Luciano Trasolini, Lucas McElveen, Yost Mongert, Quinn Dawson, Mamadi Kamara, Michael North, Eric DeGraff, Matteo Polizzi, Connor Glennon, Rahid Rahim, and Marcello Polizzi. Those are your two teams out there tonight as we get set for the playing of our national anthems, first for Canada and then for the United States of America. Here we go. And we welcome you back live to Inter Bay Soccer Stadium on a calm, winded night here as the flags are just hanging from the mast out there. A little bit of chill in the air, but it's perfect soccer weather. No rain forecasted here tonight, as it is a great matchup between the Simon Fraser Clan, ranked number 1 in Division II, and the Seattle Pacific University Falcons, as the Falcons, always a great program and celebrating 50 years of Seattle Pacific University men's soccer, and that would include 5 national championships. championships, 1978, 1983, 85, 86. So they won it 3 out of 4 years, and then came back 7 years later and won it in 1993. The women here have won in 2008. So 6 national championships overall for the school in soccer. They'd certainly love to get another one of those as we get all set out here tonight. Long ways to go this season to get to that point. And taking a look at the coaches for this game for the Simon Fraser clan, Clint Schneider. He is in his 4th year as the head coach of the clan. Assistant coaches Kevin Harms, Tyler Baldock, and also Nick Dasovich. For the Falcons, Mark Collins in his 11th season after replacing the legend Cliff McGrath. Also assistant coaches Eric Skipper, James Ward, and Andy Machin is the coaches for the Seattle Pacific Falcons. As the 2 teams out on the field, ready to go. And Simon Fraser is in the white. Seattle Pacific is in the black uniforms here tonight at Interbay Stadium. Again, back in goal is Lars Hellerin, and we are about set for action. And if you're fresh to soccer, 45 minutes on the clock, and that is for each half. We'll have stoppage for important things like goals and obviously if there's an injury. And we are underway. So here we go, the fast pace of men's Division II soccer, and that one goes out of bounds. And as always, these teams are going to get a feel for each other in the early going, and then we'll see where it goes from there as to who establishes control in this game. And fun to watch as you see, obviously, for Simon Fraser, head and shoulders above a lot of teams in GNAC, but one they're not probably head and shoulders above is the Seattle Pacific Falcons, as the Falcons trying to get the ball movement going to get into the attacking end for the first time in this match. And Simon Fraser up tight on him and just really playing the ball well right now. And there's a near interception, and finally the Falcons get the ball back and we get going. First minute of action. Falcons in the black uniforms with the white numbers, and Simon Fraser in the white uniforms with, it looks like, the red numbers and lettering on those. We'll switch from what you might see. It usually goes the other direction where the home team is wearing the whites, but we'll see if this works for the Falcons, and they've got it back in their end once again in the second minute of play here at Interbay. Kick back, and we're going to see Hellerin chase after it as he'll poke it up the right side. God, I tell you, Simon Fraser just not letting up at all. This excellent defense, and the Falcons, while controlling the ball, just having a real hard time putting it forward there. And Simon Fraser has been on the defensive end, up even in their own attacking zone, or their attacking end, but they haven't really put much forth offensively as of yet, almost 2 minutes into this one. Simon Fraser now pops one over. Falcons break it up with the header. And let's see what Simon Fraser can do this time around. The Clan, nice pick right there. Coming through for the Falcons, getting in there is Titus Grant, one of the youngsters on the team. Good pass over on the left side. That's a nice looking ball right there. Staying with it is Michael North. North over outside the box on the left side. Played one-on-one with the cross now, and getting to it is Lars Hellerin. Now they put some pressure on, and really their first attack of the match, and we'll see where this goes now for the Falcons as they go the other direction. Interbay Stadium with it going from east to west. So right now, the Falcons putting some pursuit on, heading towards the west end of the stadium, and out in the distance, the sun going down. Still a little light out around us here as we get underway a bit past 7 o'clock. And, I believe we're going to have a corner kick. That is the case. Reed Baez heading over for the very first corner kick of the match for the Falcons. Let's see if they can set something up right here. Wouldn't that be great to get things going in the first few minutes of play? Here comes the blast from the corner, and there, right, no problem, is Simon Fraser to get after it and kick it out of bounds as the Falcons will have a throw-in across the way. Heading over there is Jacob Boll to handle the duties for that one. Getting everybody positioned, ready to go in our 4th minute of action here at Interbay Soccer Stadium. Falcons break it up nicely. Here they come up the right wing. A little pursuit on to try to break through that defense of Simon Fraser. And Simon Fraser with a very complete package out there. Obviously, their defense has been outstanding through 10 games, only allowing 3 goals, which is just spectacular. And then offensively, the 37 goals. They've had a couple of games where they have scored 6 goals. They started out the season on August 31st at Cal State University, San Bernardino, and picked up a 2-1 victory in that one. Towards the middle. Oh, missed on that one. Simon Fraser chasing after it. Oh, stop. Nice effort up front there for the Falcons. Handling the ball, Ryerson. And the Falcons will have a throw-in right down below. Falcons are going to just have work ethic is a huge factor in this one. Obviously, it's always important in the games you play, but this one right here, and it just looks, and from what we've heard, that Simon Fraser is really well conditioned. They just already 5 minutes into this one, and they are just as energetic, and we're not seeing any drop off or slow down. We'll see how that plays out as it goes along, but they're just extremely well trained out there, and the Falcons obviously keep themselves in good shape. They just got to try to stay with them, and that becomes a factor as you get deeper into the match as to who holds up strength-wise and with the stamina. All right, getting close in the box there. Simon Fraser chasing it down. Watch closely. Things can happen in a hurry. They have 2 goal scorers with 10 goals. Matteo Polizzi and also Connor Glennon, each with 10 goals already this season in just 10 games. Coming through there, Polizzi, keep an eye on him, Falcons. Let's make sure that that doesn't lead to a goal. And that one slid in towards the goal over on the right side from Simon Fraser, and coming out making a nice save on that one is Lars Helleran. Now in the 7th minute of play. So, yeah, 45 minutes on the clock, and then they'll give a 1-minute warning, and then you'll hear in the background a 10-second count, and that will happen for each half. Falcons with the throw-in. Each team able to get into the other's attacking end. Nice patch up ahead. And we've got, looks like an offsides call. That's going to go against Simon Fraser. Well, he laid that pass out there beautifully, and the Simon Fraser player able to get right on top of it, but he got a little too far ahead of things, and it goes as an offsides for the Falcons. Now a free kick back in their own end. Special thanks to all the sponsors of Seattle Pacific University Sports, like Buca de Beppo. Oh, what a great place to dine at. Buca de Beppo. Right there, not too far from Mercer in downtown Seattle. Clan back in their defending end as there's a nice cross-field pass. Broken up. Superb job by Alden Massey. Up ahead. Now you like the hustle by the Falcons here, how they're just staying with it. And a shot on goal that time by Reed Baez. Love the pressure, though. Falcons not hesitating, putting it right towards the goal that time. Baez. That's a good aggressiveness. I was taking a look for Baez. He has not scored a goal as of yet. He does have 1 assist. He has played in all 9, or has played in 9 games for the Falcons and started 9, so this will be game number 12, so this makes 10 starts now for him. And sometimes, as the great part of sports, you could look at an unlikely hero in one of these games. Now, Titus Grant has a total of 6 goals to lead the Falcons in that department, along with 3 assists for 15 points on the season. Comes in having taken 33 shots and 11 of those on goal. So he's definitely been a big factor for Seattle Pacific. Well, push there by midfield, and looks like a late whistle that time. On with the push was Ed Wise. And going down for Simon Fraser will be Mamadi Kamara. Yeah, it was pretty obvious right there near midfield. No score. We are in the first half of action here at Seattle Pacific's Interbay Soccer Stadium. Mark Ockett bringing you the action on SPUFalcons.com. Simon Fraser right near midfield. Falcons now have to dig in, put the defense on as the Clan will back up and reset things over from the midfield spot by the defender. And then towards the right side now. Let's see what they push ahead. Good footwork right there. Falcons now tightening up a little bit. They're going to have to close that hole over on the left side. Solid pass. And there's 3 Falcons right there to get it out, headed back towards midfield. Again, soccer happens quick when it looks for goals. Here come the Falcons up the right side. That's Titus Grant. Remember, Grant leads the team with 6 goals. Now catching up with him is Vukic. Vukic played tight over on the right side inside the box. And Simon Fraser certainly seeing that the Falcons are giving it their best shot as we would expect, but also just hanging right in there with them on every sequence. Offsides is called against Seattle Pacific. So now we are in the 11th minute of play on this Saturday night. Again, the women won earlier, getting a 2-1 victory earlier today as Megan Moore set up Julia DeVere for the Falcons' first goal and then scored the game winner just 3 minutes into the second half as they beat Montana State Billings over there in Billings by a score of 2-1. The men are aware of that. They'd like to make it a perfect day. And there'll also be a doubleheader out here next Saturday, both the men and the women playing. The women play at 4, the men play at 7. Falcons are in a great stretch right now. This is the second of 6 games in a row at home. Schedule laid out very nice for them. You want to make the most of it. There's no doubt about that. Simon Fraser getting themselves set here. Great pass ahead, but Falcons breaking it up with Wise. Now booted back. Double team. Let's see if they can get it away from him. That guy is very good. Kamara. He's good at getting in position. Falcons did an excellent job of breaking things up right there. Now here comes Seattle Pacific towards midfield. Left back. Falcons in the defending zone on the other end. And Simon Fraser just as tight as they can be defensively, and it pays off right there as they break it up. Now and they seem to be working the ball more up from the middle of the field towards the right side. We're not seeing a lot on the left side at this point in time in the early going. Past midfield towards the middle. And Kamara out deep. Coming up from the right side now will be DeGraff. And the Falcons still closing them off. Broken up right time. Good job with the foot as he was kind of twisted around by Swallow. And a block as the defense steps up for the Falcons. Now here they come. Over towards the right side as they'll make the way towards midfield. Left back and now booted ahead as Simon Fraser's going to get ahead on it and move the other direction. Coming back is Vukic. Into the 13th minute of play here at Interbay. And the Clan reevaluating, looking what they're going to do as their defenders have it back in the deep end there. And the Falcons playing up tight, not letting much separation occur between them and their opponent. That one's way ahead. Chasing it down for Simon Fraser was Michael North. And now it looks like it's going to go out over on the far side. And it will be a throw-in for Simon Fraser. So they'll get a quick throw-in now working towards the middle. Polizzi, the team leading scorer with the 10 goals, handling the ball in the middle. Long kick from the far side, and now fanning on it is Ryerson. He's going to have to go down and chase it down. He committed with that play, and then Simon Fraser gets a man right out there after it. The quick throw in. Kamara, Polizzi, and that kick's going to go wide. So we'll have a goal kick coming up from Lars Hellerin. Still no score. We're now in the 15th minute of play, as there's 31, now less than 31 minutes on the clock. Hellerin, some pressure on. Falcons trying to get it out of their end. Simon Fraser been putting some more pressure on here in the last couple of sequences, as the Falcons now booting it ahead, and see a height advantage right there. That's a tall player, as Joost Mungert. Falcons will head the other direction and have a chance to get in good field position right here, coming up on 30 minutes left to go in the first half. Chasing it down for the Falcons is Alden Massey. And he'll come at it from the far side over there. Massey has the throw in. He's quite a bit of time off the clock, about 25 seconds off the clock getting to the ball. Now here, SPU with some one-on-one action inside the box. Booted back outside. Now there's a long kick that's going to go towards, header. That time by Travis Swallow, and he was right on point to the goalie as Luciano Trasolini comes out and makes the play. But still, the Falcons have had a couple of nice opportunities right inside the inner box right there. And one of these, you just have to get a little bit creative to get it past that goalkeeper. And that could be the fourth goal allowed by Simon Fraser this year. Clan coming up towards midfield once again. Falcons with double pressure on the defense, now broken up. Good job by Benavides. See if they can string something together this time downfield. Got a man breaking nicely down the right side. That's Ryerson. Catches up with the ball. Gets somebody in the middle, makes something happen. Ryerson over on the right side, boots it towards the middle on the cross, and that one's going to sail out of bounds on the far side. And there'll be a throw in for Simon Fraser. If you're just tuning in, Simon Fraser ranked number 1 in the nation, coming in with a perfect 10-0 record, outscoring their opponents 37-3. And Seattle Pacific has also done a good job putting the ball in the net. That one goes out of bounds. Taking a look at scores and how things have gone by half, Seattle Pacific has outscored their opponents in the first half 14-5. Up ahead, Polizzi loses a handle on the ball as it's going to be taken away, and getting after it for the Falcons that time was Jacob Boll. Now here comes the Falcons the other direction from east to west. Got a man right there on the right side. That would be Titus Grant. Grant's going to come towards us a little bit here as we sit in the Palatial press box. Actually, Interbay Stadium has excellent press and announcing facilities. This place, they really planned out well. Falcons right near midfield, looking after having a couple of shots on goal to find their way to get another one, as that one's going to go deep in the Clan end. And come back the other direction to the Falcons is chasing it down a goalkeeper. Now, where the Falcons have had some issues as far as goals being scored have been concerned, again, they've outscored their opponents 14-5 in the first half. It's been the second half where they've been outscored 9-7, and also in overtime they've been outscored 2-0. So Seattle Pacific overall has outscored their opponents 21-16. Luciano Trasolini in goal for the Clan of Simon Fraser. Trasolini is from Burnaby, BC, 6'1", 180-pound sophomore. Ball put back in play. Now for the Falcons, Lars Hellerin is just a freshman, stands at 6'2", 195 pounds. He is from Kings High School. Real strong academic and sports program. Kings there in Shoreline, but his hometown is Edmonds, which is just a little bit up the road from where King's High School is. That's a big campus there for Christa, which is a Christian ministry. We're in the 19th minute of play. Still no score. Simon Fraser chasing it, going hard, but broken up by the Falcons. And you hear the crowd voice their approval as Seattle Pacific just not wanting to allow anything down close. Here comes the Clan again. They got a 4-on-5 going across the middle on the cross, and there is a goal. Right there, the first goal of the game for Simon Fraser. And we'll get the official name on that one right there, as they had that break going. Want to get confirmation. That looked to me, the double check is Mamadi Kamara, but I want to make sure on that. That one's going to come in the 20th minute of play, and there will be an assist on it. So Simon Fraser, once this becomes official, double check on this here. They haven't put it up on the board as of yet.
Simon Fraser 0, SPU 0, ref 1.
Now there's been no goal put up on the board as of yet, so. Okay, so the goal officially scored. I get this one. Scored by Rahid Rahim. And also in the mix that time was Kamara. But we got that now. Here come the other way is Kamara. Centers it up for Polizzi. Polizzi just high with the shot as it got over Helleran. And Helleran may have got a hand on it, which will set up a corner kick. So Rahid Rahim coming through with the goal for Simon Fraser. Assist by that time by Matteo Polizzi and Connor Glennon. So there was 2 assists on it. Polizzi and Glennon. Here comes the corner kick. Simon Fraser scoring their 38th goal of the season at the 25:51 mark left to go, so that's the 20th minute of play. Simon Fraser bringing plenty of fans down as well. You can hear them cheering in the background, so you got a bipartisan crowd out here, and certainly a very energetic crowd right from the get-go. Clan with the ball near midfield as they strike first. Coming up near the midway point of the first half. Falcons started out the season slow with 3 straight losses, all on the road, before finally getting a win on the road. They lost 2-0 at Chico State on August 30th, then lost 2-1 at Sonoma State as they were down in California for these. Lost that one on September 1st, 2-1 in overtime over on the left side. Simon Fraser getting a couple of men in front of the goal. The header, that's in. And a goal for Simon Fraser again, as they now have a 2-0 lead. That one scored with 23:19 left in the first half. So not a good situation for the Falcons at this point in time as they get it in the 22nd minute of play. Just a couple of minutes after the last one, about 2.5 minutes later, they pick up their second goal to take a 2-0 lead. Now we'll get confirmation on that second goal, but that nonetheless, making sure it is 2-0. Simon Fraser on top. Action on SPUFalcons.com. Mark Ockett bringing you the action. Zach is our producer and photographer here. as the Falcons will have the kick coming up at midfield.
At 21-41, Fraser goal, scored by Mateo Polizzi. His 11th goal of the year. Assist going to Hamadi Kamara.
Looks like Polizzi's getting credit for the goal, and that would be his 11th of the season. 2-0 is the score. And Simon Fraser looking to just put even more distance between themselves and Seattle Pacific, as that one goes out of bounds over on the far side, and looks like we'll have a corner kick coming up for the Clan. They'll send a man over to the far right side.
Simon Fraser corner to be taken by Mateo Polizzi.
So the goal was officially scored by Mateo Polizzi, and the assist by Hamadi Kamara. Polizzi with 11 goals now. He's on top in that category. And also his teammate with 10, which would be Connor Glennon. Glennon has added an assist in this game. He now has 7 assists for the season. Polizzi with a goal and an assist to give him 11 goals and 10 assists. Not a bad start in 11 games. A goal per game and almost an assist per game. And he is racking it up. 2-0, Simon Fraser. Now in the 24th minute of play. We knew this was not going to be easy. Falcons got their first victory of the season in their 4th game of the year, after losing to Azusa Pacific 3-2 on September 6th. While also down in California, they defeated Point Loma 2-1. So that was their first win, and then they went on a 3-game winning streak, counting that first one. They beat Hawaii Pacific 2-1 on September 13th, and then defeated Hawaii Hilo 5-0 on September 15th. Not a bad couple of days right there, outscoring their opponents 7-1 and getting to spend some time in the 50th state. Falcons trying to get ahead there, and Simon Fraser, just with their athleticism and their quickness to the ball, makes it very difficult. And of course now they've got the 2-0 lead, so that's a bit of a chip that the Falcons have to deal with. And you want to, if you're them, definitely, and you got over 20 minutes to go, almost 21 minutes to go in the first half, you definitely want to pop one in, get a goal if you can. They've had a couple of shots on goal so far here in the first half, but if they could get one to close the gap, and obviously their defense has to step up and get the job done to shut down Simon Fraser. But 2-1 certainly makes things feel a lot better than 2-0, or perhaps worse, as a Clan feeling their confidence, finding their groove, and now outscoring their opponents 39-3 this season. Number 1 ranked team in the country. Up ahead over on the right side, good foot and leg right in there for the Falcons to break it up, as we're almost exactly 25 minutes into the first half, with 65 minutes left to go in the match and less than 20 minutes to go in the first half. Yeah, just to recap the scoring. Goal scored in the 20th minute by Simon Fraser. About 6 minutes ago, Rahid Rahim scoring on assist by Mateo Polizzi and Connor Glennon. And then just a couple of minutes after that, in the 22nd minute of play, they picked up another one. Connor Glennon coming through with the goal. So, yeah, now give him 11. So he and... Oh, I think they switched that around. They corrected it. They originally gave it to Polizzi, and now they have corrected it and given it to Connor Glennon. So I just double-checked that. So Polizzi still has 10. Glennon now is up to 11 goals, and he has, let's check and see, 7 assists. So those two guys just having fabulous seasons, but they originally announced it as Polizzi, and now Connor Glennon getting credit for the goal. That's why we wait a little bit. I mean, I could see that I try to get the call as it's going in, but then you want to check on the player, because sometimes people get screened out and we have to actually wait for the official word from across the field, where they also let us know about the substitutions. Not having seen any substitutions as of yet. Had a plethora of them last Saturday in the Falcons game against Northwest Nazarene for the women. Going to go back into the attacking end for Simon Fraser as the Clan will get set to go once again. Also want to thank Michael Koenig, longtime supporter of Seattle Pacific University Athletics. Michael Koenig and his Windermere Real Estate. He has been with the school for many years, and here's more pressure. Good save right there by Helleran, but they're going to, it looks like, get it on the second try that time as Simon Fraser is able to come through and get it in the goal. And that looked like it was Polizzi right up front. Yeah, Polizzi right there. That would be his 11th goal, and a 3-0 lead for Simon Fraser as they just continue to take it to the Falcons here in the first half. It comes in minute number 28, so they have really hit with a flurry here in minutes 20, 22, and 28. 17:49 left on the clock in the first half, and they're up 3-0. Falcons will get after it now. Yeah, it's tough to lose, or be losing. I mean, you still got a long ways to go, but the fact that it's happening on your home pitch makes it even more painful. But Simon Fraser just relentless. Falcons and the Clan playing pretty even up in the early going, but then Simon Fraser, once we got past right around the midway point, they really started turning it up. And that's where it's been since that time over the last roughly 10 minutes of play. Going the other direction, chasing it down is Titus Grant, and that one's going to go past the end line. Simon Fraser will head the other direction now. And these just become backbreakers with each one they get, and the further they separate themselves from the Falcons. So the Falcons had those 3 victories in a row to even up their record at 3-3, and then they lost at Northwest Nazarene in their conference opener by a score of 2-0. That was on September 20th. Lost at Concordia 2-1 in overtime, so they started out 0-2. That ball chased down. Again, the size and athletic ability of Simon Fraser is just outstanding. That one just chipped over the top. They had another combination out front, 2 players that are now down on the pitch, or 1 player now getting out of there. And I'll tell you, that was just another example of how well they generally execute, except that time not putting the goal in, but just getting those players in position to make that happen alone. And that ball just a little bit off the frame that time, going over the top of the post. Action now in the 30th minute as the Falcons will try some magic of their own up the other end. Here they come. Ryerson with the ball. Simon Fraser, lots of white jerseys down there in uniforms. 8 kits on those players as the Falcons now have to back up a little bit. They just could not find a way to penetrate that time downfield. Falcons up near midfield now. And yeah, just kind of desperately kicking one down the way. Falcons got back on the winning ways in their first regular season victory. That was at Montana State Billings, a 3-2 win on September 27th. So they opened the non-conference schedule with 4 straight on the road. They opened the conference schedule with 4 straight on the road. They also defeated St. Martin's 1-0 on September 27th. Looks like we have a substitution coming out of the lineup. Is going to be Mario Vukic, and we've got a new player in for the Falcons. First substitution of the game, and the Falcons making the change to bring in Jake Ferry. Jake Ferry, a local product. He is a freshman out of Redmond High School, not too far from here, about 15 minutes away to the east 3-0. Simon Fraser is on top. Now in minute 31, as the Falcons somehow, some way, just trying to find a groove and at least pop one in to the goal, score a goal before halftime. Here they go the other direction. With the ball is Titus Grant, but Simon Fraser, 3 players right there on the 3-on-1, and the flag goes up for offsides, and once again the Falcons will surrender the ball to Simon Fraser, and back they go. Luciano Trasolini in goal, and goes up the right side. That one close to the sideline, but stays in bounds. The header takes it the other direction. Here comes Simon Fraser. They got 4 of those white uniforms heading towards the goal, but the Falcons break it up, and God will go the other direction towards midfield. Falcons with the free kick. Well, it just seems like they're climbing uphill with what Simon Fraser has dealt them with, those 3 blows to the back of the net here in the first half. Mentioned coming up at halftime, we'll take a break and keep a scene on the field and then come back, of course, with second half action. Falcons down the far left side as that's off a Simon Fraser player. We'll have a corner kick coming over on the left side for the Falcons. Now a couple of those in the game for SPU.
Falcon corner to be taken by Titus Grant.
Taking the corner kick will be Titus Grant. Grant is a sophomore. He's out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. 5'10", 160 pounds. And again, he is the leading goal scorer for the Falcons as he puts his left foot to it towards the middle. Ball a bit loose, but there's a Clan player that's going to kick it out over the, or near the shed over there for the maintenance shed. Finally, that's going to go out of bounds and be last touched by Simon Fraser. Or make that by the Falcons as Simon Fraser is going to get after it. And with the kick coming up, Luciano Trasolini. Virtually all of the players on the Simon Fraser Clan roster are from Canada, many of them from British Columbia. You look down the list, you have to hit the 7th player on the roster. Mamadi Kamara is actually from Montreal, so I have a hunch he speaks some French. Falcons controlling in their own end. They have their work cut out for them, trailing 3-0 against Simon Fraser. Ball tapped towards the middle, and finally going to go out of bounds, last touch by the Falcons. But most of these players you see in pretty close to Vancouver area, with Burnaby, Coquitlam, Penticton. You've also got Delta, BC, North Vancouver representing. And then there's a player in here from, looks like Denmark, and also from India. There's just 3 players on their entire roster are actually from outside the Canadian, outside Canada. They've all, and that includes a player, Ahmad Kamal. He is from Cairo, Egypt. 3-0 to score. And it's just staying that way as the Falcons now just kind of having trouble getting the ball into the attacking end. There they go, snaking it through, and we'll see what happens this time around as they go down the left side. Got a man bolting, but Simon Fraser again with the defense. Now the Falcons get it back. Goes up towards midfield as SPU will chase it down. Falcons coming into this one had implemented 8 different lineups and used the starting group in back-to-back game for just the first time a week ago. There's just a few players that have started every game. Benavides, Postma, well actually Luke Postma not in tonight, so just 3 now. Also Nick Ryerson and Ed Wise. For the Falcons, they've had 9 players account for their 17 goals. And just to update the tally for Simon Fraser, they have now outscored their opponents 40-3 in 11 games. And this one's not even to halftime yet. Falcons had a non-league game against the University of Mary, not St. Mary's, but the University of Mary out of Montana. That was a 4-1 victory here on Thursday night as they got a chance to get back home. But the Falcons have only played 3 games at home. They've all been non-league games. This is the first GNAC conference game they've played at home. Next up will be October 11th versus Western Washington, the 3rd of 6 home games in a row. Then October 18th when they host Concordia Portland. The 20th, they'll host Montana State Billings. Also Northwest Nazarene on October 13th. Then they're at Simon Fraser on October 25th, at Western Washington on October 27th, and they close out the season November 1st when they host the St. Martin Saints right here at Interbay Soccer Stadium. 8 minutes left to go in the first half. Player for Simon Fraser kind of out of balance that time as it got stuck between his legs, and he ends up losing the ball as the Falcons will get it back. They'll go the other direction now with Titus Grant. And Simon Fraser, just again, they're just so strong and good defensively that the Falcons barely can move without them, the Simon Fraser player being on them. Clan will attempt to set it. Now they set up defensively as the Falcons have it back in their own end. Darkness settling in all the way around us as the sun going down to our right, and just another great, beautiful night here at Interbay Stadium. Up the right side, the Falcons, Mejia. Nobody ahead for him as Simon Fraser will blast it back into the Falcons' end. Here they come once again. Kamara with the pass over on the right side. That's going to be broken up by Seattle Pacific. Here they come the other way as the fans voice their approval and the Falcons near midfield. Still again, even though they're down 3-0, getting a goal before halftime would be a huge plus for Seattle Pacific. That's what they're thinking as they're coming down the left side. The good one-on-one play that time and coming through that time was Alden Massey, and Massey will go down. We have a substitution for Simon Fraser, their first substitution of the game. Looks like the Clan is going to bring out Connor Glennon. Glennon's going to come out, their leading goal scorer. And in for Simon Fraser, you see on your screen a number 14 heading in there, Chris Guerrero. He's out of Coquitlam, BC, and a freshman at 5'9", 155-pound defender. 3-0, 6 minutes to go in the first half. Mark Ockett bringing you the action on SPUFalcons.com. Opportunities for the half start winding down here as the clock approaches 5 minutes. Now just a little gentle breeze across the way as the United States and Canadian flags blow a little bit, but again, not having to play in rain certainly makes it nice and a little more comfortable for these players and the fans. That one's going back, and man, I tell you, Kamara is really quick. Chasing it down, getting after it over on the left side, and that was just pure hustle that allowed him to get the ball back. Quinn Dawson handles the ball towards the middle. Now the Clan player going down. He wanted a foul on that one, but instead it goes the other direction, and Simon Fraser has it near midfield. Turning the other direction over on the middle of the field as Seattle Pacific gets it, coming up towards the middle. Titus Grant. Grant goes down. No call on that one, so players going down, one on each end, and no whistles. They're just letting them play. Falcons get it back. Benavides picked up defensively very tightly. Again, there is Kamara again. Over on the right, and offsides is the call against Seattle Pacific. Just one of those things where they're having a hard time buying a break at this point in time. after a couple early shots on goal, and then Simon Fraser owning it. Got their first goal in the 20th minute of play, then the 22nd minute of play, and then followed by in the 28th minute of play.
At 40:31, a yellow card has been issued to the Falcons' Travis Swallow.
There's a yellow card that's been issued. I want to see. I could hear a little bit in the background. Ball near midfield, coming up on the 4-minute-to-go mark in the first half. That'd be the first yellow card of the game. And just taking a look at the shots, Simon Fraser has taken 9 shots. Seattle Pacific has taken 2. 1 save in goal for the Falcons, and 2 saves so far for Simon Fraser on those early shots I was telling you about. Clan boots it ahead. That ball tapped around, and now it's going to go the other direction, and finally out of bounds as the Falcons getting over their tight, but Simon Fraser will have the throw in. And they want to make sure it's the right guy that gets the job done. So each team has made a substitution. That's going to go the other direction. Back to the Falcons. Simon Fraser, as I mentioned, having 2 6-goal games. And that really stands out, jumps off the page at you. They opened the season with a win, and they've been winning ever since that time at Cal State San Bernardino 2-1. Then at number 4, Cal Poly Pomona, they won 3-0. Simon Fraser again, one-on-one. Great save that time! Halloran coming out of there. Halloran getting it done. And the pressure put on by Marcelo Polisi. Now they go back the other direction. Having to back up a little bit. Boy, I tell you, he just dove full out and got his gloves on that one, or that was headed in there. A little surprised he booted it that way and didn't go the other direction. Halloran after the ball, and now up towards midfield. Clock ticking down to 2 minutes to go as we are in minute number 43 of the first half. Over on the left side, Michael North with the ball, tapping it around. 2 players on him, 2 players defending him, and he forces him to push it out a little bit higher to Quinn Dawson. Now they have to back up to midfield, but again, remember, they're playing with the luxury of a 3-0 lead. A little over a minute 30 left to go in the first half. Tied up on defense is Grant, but Simon Fraser, I think, content to just take it where they have it right now unless they are able to get a quick breakaway. There's a little bumping and pushing right there. For the Falcons, Nick Ryerson, and for Simon Fraser, the other way was Just Menger. Here goes, the other direction, so close. Coming in tight that time was Titus Grant, and the goalkeeper going down, Luciano Trasolini, for Simon Fraser. We got a yellow card going to be issued. That would be a yellow card, pretty obvious that time, as he rolled into him.
A yellow card has been issued to the Falcons' Titus Grant.
Titus Grant gets it. Second yellow card of the game that's been issued. And Trasolini still down. We'll see if they have to bring the trainer out to take a look at things. We got 1:04 left to go in the first half, and Simon Fraser is up 3-0. Coming into tonight's match, Simon Fraser had taken 179 shots. Make that 175. So they've added 10 more since that time, so make it 185 now. And their opponents have taken 58 coming in, so now 60. They're going to get set to go as Trasolini back up. And we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute to go in the first half. Nice passing in there. And then the Falcons finally get a piece of it to force it back. There, good steal. And I think that Simon Fraser's playing is pretty content. I'm not saying safe, but they're playing, well, it's easier to do when you've got a 3-0 lead. And we're not even at halftime yet with 30 seconds on the clock. Falcons up ahead with the pass. Good move ahead. Crowd loves it. Can they capitalize on it? Get a dramatic goal late in the first half. That would be a nice statement to make. We have a foul called and a free kick coming up. 10 seconds. Now coming up on 5 seconds. 4, 3 seconds. There's a shot towards the middle, and it's finally cleared out, and we are going to be at halftime as Trasolini gets a hand on it. At least the Falcons, yeah, they tried to get that one goal to close out the first half, but couldn't quite get the job done, and it'll go as a 3-0 lead. 3-0 as Simon Fraser is on top. Both teams will head into the locker room at halftime. We will have a 15-minute intermission, and Simon Fraser getting the job done so far here in the first half. And we'll take a break, and our score is Seattle Pacific trailing Simon Fraser 3-0. Welcome back to Interbay Soccer Stadium, home of the Seattle Pacific University Falcons. And the Falcons are trailing in men's soccer here tonight by a score of 3-0. Mark Ockett bringing you the action on SPUFalcons.com as they're going to be ready for the start of the second half. And the Falcons will be going from right to left. That's west to east on your screen. They're in the black uniforms with the white numbers and letters. And Simon Fraser, the #1 ranked team in the nation in Division II soccer, is in the white uniforms with the red letter and trim. And we are underway to start the second half. I'm going to catch you up on how things went in the first half as far as the goal scoring. Obviously, Simon Fraser pretty busy at that in the first half with the 3-0 lead. And here come the Falcons trying to get out of the backside and move the ball forward and put a little pressure, try it again like they did in the first half. The first half, they had a couple of early shots on goal, and then Simon Fraser just getting things in full gear as we're in minute number 46 here tonight. Shepherd Family Chiropractic, Cheryl Shepard and the group there do an excellent job, and they are a longtime sponsor of Seattle Pacific University Athletics. SPU Bookstore. Swing on by there. They had a great product launch in the summertime and got a lot of new items. Let's get you all geared up with the Falcons. I was able to get a 50th anniversary pullover that just is superb with a Falcons soccer hat. They got the scarves in there too. So stop by the SPU bookstore and get yourself some nice swag. In the second minute of action here, second half, and again, you get into that point where it just anything, any type of way of getting the ball in the net for the Falcons is going to be a confidence builder, especially the earlier the better. Now they go up the left side, and it's broken up. Zach, our photographer and also producer for the broadcast, Zach Trumbauer, brought up a great point of, and I agree with this, is that just facing a team that is quicker, faster, taller, and it's tough. It's very tough when, you know, the Falcons are a good group, a good unit out there, but Simon Fraser just, and even right from the get-go, you look out there and go, ooh, these guys, they're big. They're well fed off that Canadian beef up there. Clan going the other direction. Kamara chasing after it, and that's a guy that definitely has been well recognized on the field. Mamadi Kamara, a 6'3" player out of Quebec, and he's just one that you look in one spot, and if you dare take your eye off for a second, or even if you're just trying to follow the ball, the next thing you know, he's 40 yards on the other side or such, and we got a penalty kick coming up. So a penalty kick, and guess who's taking it? The Clan. Look, it's like Polizzi out there. All right. Helleram. And that is going to be a goal. He pops it in there, shoots it in there, and that makes it 4-0. So Polizzi scores his second goal of the match, his 12th of the season. And that comes in minute number 48 on a penalty kick. It is 4-0. Clan is on top. And it continues to be a rough night for Seattle Pacific. Simon Fraser with the 2 6-goal games. They've also had 2 5-goal games and a 4-goal game. That was against Montana State Billings on September 20th. They've now outscored their opponents 41-3 this season. And Helleran kicks it out of there. Falcons going the other direction. Chasing it down over on the right side, but that ball just too far for the Falcon player to be able to get something done. Reed Baez And then there's all those white uniforms to block the goalkeeper, which is what you're supposed to do on the defensive end. And Seattle Pacific will have the throw in across the way. Simon Fraser, oh, nice back flick that time. Here they come up towards midfield. No let up in these guys, right across the middle. Excellent pass over to the left side. Kamara with the ball. Dancing through, oh, just wide with the shot. He got plenty of leg on that one. And again, he's got long legs and kind of bow-legged too out there, but it doesn't seem to affect his play as that's going to go out of bounds. We have the goal kick coming up. Hellerin will put his foot to it, and here comes Seattle Pacific the other direction, going from west to east. Still continues to be just an excellent night. I went down at halftime and grabbed a little something to eat, and it's just nice and crisp. Not too cold, though. Simon Fraser well in command, and they take their time right here handling the ball. Polizzi towards the middle. Kamara, that one's broken up from him. Now in the 5th minute of play, minute number 50 overall in this match, as the ball goes towards midfield. Handling it for Seattle Pacific, Reed Baez now leaves it back as they circulate it around. As a new player in from who was not in there in the first half for the Falcons, wearing number 20 on his back, and that is Jason Schmidt, midfielder, 5'10", 185-pound junior out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Falcons chasing it down, and that one's going to go over on the left side of the net. I think that, let's check and see if player got a, yep, I think that's going to be a corner kick coming up. Looks like a corner coming from the left side, far down on the left side. Falcons will bring everybody down and crowd the net, and the corner kick cross is going to be on its way as they go kind of deep over on the far right side. And that's where the kick is aimed at. Oh, close on the header that time. It goes over the top, and we're going to have another corner kick, I do believe. Oh, they closed the gap in there, but that was awfully close, and a chance for the Falcons to get on the scoreboard for the first time. Taking the corner kick for the Falcons, wearing number 3 on his uniform. Also a new player in, Trevor Lee out of Puyallup High School. And we've got the goalkeeper shaken up. Would be the second time in this game that Luciano Trasolini has had to have some attention out there. Want to recap on those yellow cards for Seattle Pacific to make sure you're up to date on that information, as there was a couple of them on the Falcons late in the first half. In minute number 41, yellow card on Travis Swallow, and then later on Titus Grant in the 44th minute. He and Trasolini crashing into each other, but they put that one on Grant. Grant actually kind of taking him out, but not so. It's just one of those things that kind of happened as he was pursuing the goal, and it turned out to be a yellow card for him. So the Falcons with 2 yellow cards against them, and none so far for Simon Fraser. Falcons with a throw in now. The Clan will break it up, coming the other way. With the ball, with the one-on-one action in through there for Simon Fraser is Connor Glennon. Glennon back in the match. He played a significant portion of the first half. Glennon scored the second goal of the game for Simon Fraser. Simon Fraser getting on the board in minute number 20. Rahid Rahim scoring his 4th goal of the season. Matteo Polizzi with the assist. Connor Glennon also with the assist. And then the next goal for Simon Fraser was scored by Glennon, and that came in minute number 22. Falcons getting it out of there, getting it out of the box. Here they come. Now in the 8th minute of play. Up ahead! Here's Titus Grant. Grant takes the shot. That is going to be in. He scores! Goal! Titus Grant. What a beautiful shot. As that one bent away from the goalkeeper, Luciano Trasolini, and Titus Grant, a man on a mission. He gets the goal. That was just a work of art right there. And the crowd loving it as Grant gets it done. Minute number 53, and he blasts it from way out. Well outside the box that time, and it was so fun to watch him come downfield as the Falcons did a good job defensively, and that's a case where the goal set up on the other end. 37-52 as the Falcons got possession and then just kept pushing as Grant broke away, and he took it on one-on-one and got the job done. I mean, what was amazing about that is it had a reverse bend on it away from the goalkeeper, and it usually a lot of times those will break to the right. That one broke to the left and into the goal like it had a mind of its own, just like Titus Grant scoring the goal. That was beautiful. So we'll see. Coming up on 37-15 to go left in the second half. Time certainly an issue, but you get that first one, you never know what can happen after that. Just got to chip away at it, and the Falcons with renewed confidence right there on the field as they're on the attacking end. Here they go again, just staying with it. And of course you get to that point when you're Simon Fraser where you've outscored your opponents 41-4 now, and we got a whistle down there as a player doing some great Hollywood work on the field. This may get nominated for an Academy Award. He did not clearly get hit that hard, but soccer, and this is where it gets criticized from time to time with the flopping, but he put a great effort into that one. Going to get a high score for artistic impression. 4-1 the score, and we got the free kick coming up. The Falcons have taken 5 shots on goal, 12 by Simon Fraser. Falcons had 2 in the first half, and now they've taken 3 in the second half, so they are obviously ahead of their pace, and we'll see what happens. Simon Fraser with 10 in the first half and 2 here in the second half. Falcons going to get it back. Again, you just got to stay aggressive. Certainly, if they expect to get back into this game, you got to get that second goal, and you got to try to get it before the clock hits 30. We're at 36 minutes to go. Sooner the better, but definitely get it as within the next 5 or 6 minutes if they can on these surges. And then suddenly it becomes a 2-goal game, and Simon Fraser realizes that somebody's not going away. Falcons just energized right now. This is fun to watch as they steal it. Does Titus Grant have another one in him like that? That's his 7th goal of the season. He leads the Falcons in that department. 10 minutes into the second half as we're in the 55th minute of the match. Lots of soccer left to play here on the pitch of Interbay Stadium. The women won earlier tonight, or this afternoon, at Montana State Billings by a score of 2-1. Simon Fraser, a little push off there on each end, each side, and Simon Fraser is going to get the benefit of that one. No yellow card, just a foul as they had contact with each other. Now Simon Fraser, with just allowing 4 goals this year, has not had a game where there's been multiple goals scored against them. That's worth noting. They gave up a goal on August 31st at Cal State San Bernardino. Then 2 games later at Cal State Los Angeles. Cal State San Bernardino ranked 4th in the nation at that time. Cal State Los Angeles ranked 18th. Well, Cal State San Bernardino is Pauly Pomona was ranked 4th. Then the other goal was allowed at St. Martin's in a one-sided victory for Simon Fraser, 6-1. Looks like we got a corner kick coming up once again. Having over there for the Falcons to attempt a corner kick is Trevor Lee, 6'1" midfielder, 170-pound junior, and again out of Puyallup High School. He's a Viking and also a Falcon. Not easy to be both a Viking and a Falcon, but you're going to go the other direction now, and the Falcons will have the corner kick over on the right side. Titus Grant's going to handle the duties over on the right side. So we've seen now this being the third corner kick here in the second half as the Falcons trying to put more pressure on. He's always exciting as everybody lines up, and it's unfortunately for the Falcons going to be drilled out of there, and now they get it back. Titus Grant over on the right side, and Simon Fraser gets a hold of it. I think we have a whistle over on that far side, and we have the Titus Grant down on the pitch, rolling around as it looks like he's now going to get to his feet. Just kind of shook up out there. And well, these guys and the ladies, when they're playing, they take a lot of hits to those shins. Looks like they're setting up for a free kick as Titus Grant over there, and the defender's going to have to back off a few yards. A yellow card has been issued. I think that is against Polizzi. That's what it looks like over that far away and sounded like too. Towards the middle, and it's headed out of there. Saw a Falcon player get his head on it, and we're going to have yet another corner kick, only this time on the other side. Fourth one of the second half with 32:55 left to go. We're coming up within a couple of minutes now of the 2/3 mark in this match, and the Falcons are trailing 4-1. Mark Ockett bringing you the action here live from Interbay Soccer Stadium. That's headed out of there, headed back towards the middle, and now the Falcons chasing it down. Oh, shot off to the left side. Jason Schmidt firing the blast to the left side. Going, not needing to get his hands on it, but still the Falcons trying once again to score a goal and make it a 4-2 match. Trasolini will kick it off the inside box. Going to lay down around midfield off the foot of Kamara again. He is going to keep it playing, and now he was waiting. He looks like he coaxed a foul out of the official that time. He'll get the free kick over on the right side. I don't think they set it up. It was set up just right, and kind of need that can of spray paint out there to show and mark on the field where it's supposed to go. Now ahead, back flip on the flick on that kick right there, as that's going to go on the far left side, and it'll go out of bounds, and the Falcons will have control of it. Matteo Polizzi from Coquitlam, British Columbia, went to Charles Best High School. He is just a sophomore and has the 11 goals. He and Glennon with the 11 goals to lead Simon Fraser. Look out! Kamara is chasing down in that end. Again, this guy must be used to running. He must go run up in the Himalayas or something. He's got incredible lung capacity and is so quick with those long legs. He just does not seem to tire. He's going just as strong now as he did at the very beginning. Broke it up! Good play. Coming through for the Falcons that time with the defense. Number 18, you see there, Ed Wise. And Simon Fraser is going to have a corner. They're over on the far left side.
Simon Fraser corner to be taken by Matteo Polizzi.
Polizzi coming through with the corner kick. Just a soft little gentle one as now they'll try to set it up from a different perspective. In towards the middle, coming out of the goal for the Falcons, making the grab that time is their goalkeeper. That time, Lars Helleran coming out. About to hit 30 minutes to go, 60 minutes in right now. So we have 30 minutes, now less than 30 minutes left in this match. If by chance it got tied, we'd have 2 10-minute overtime halves scheduled with the golden goal to wrap it up if somebody does that. But we got a long ways to go for the Falcons to try to get to that point. You really just want to obviously focus on one goal at a time. And they did get that one from Titus Grant in the 53rd minute. We are now in minute number 61, so 8 minutes ago. The thing with Simon Fraser is that they struck, and they struck quick, with 3 goals in 8 minutes from minute number 20 to minute number 28 in the first half, and that's the big difference. And then they've got a little stoppage right here. They got those 3 goals and added another one here in the second half. That 3 goals they got in the first half is still standing up as the difference in this match. Player down as the Falcons will set it up again. Free kick on the way, and players will line up in position. Seattle Pacific in those black uniforms, even though it's a home game. Lots of players warming up on the sidelines for Simon Fraser with the big lead, and if it stays that way, we may see a number of substitutions late in this match. Towards the middle, and that one's going to be headed out of there. Last touch by SPU. It's going to go the other direction and will be a goal kick coming up for Simon Fraser. Titus Grant now with 7 goals to lead the club, followed by Alden Massey with 5. Jake Ferry with a couple. Mario Vucic with 1 goal. Alex Mejia with 2 goals. Falcons have 14 assists on the season, and 2 with 3 goals each. That would be Titus Grant and also Vucic. Back it goes. Less than 28 minutes left to go here in the game, perhaps, or in the second half at least. Falcons up towards midfield. Now knocked away. It's going to go the other direction. It's not so much like the Falcons have necessarily played a bad match. They've certainly been playing as hard as one could play, but they're playing such a good athletic team in Simon Fraser that it's been extremely difficult to make something happen offensively. Clan back in their own end, now heading out into the attacking end, over on the right side. Connor Glennon. Glennon, a 5'10 sophomore. So Polizzi, also a 5'10 sophomore. You got these two guys that have 22 goals, 11 each, and they're just sophomore players. Glennon is from Vernon, BC. And I think it's when you got a team that this kind of talent, if you're the province of British Columbia, you got to be proud of the players that they're producing. Oh, look out. Yeah, there it is. No doubt about that one. He was right out in front and comes through with the goal. That'll be the 5th goal of the match. So Simon Fraser is up on top now, 5-1. And that goal scored with 26:08 left to go here in the second half. Their second goal of the half is scored 3 minutes into this half. It looked to me, I'm going to double check on that number. Let's check and see if we can find out who officially got that goal. But I saw it right from the right side, just a little bit of a distance away from where we're at here. 5-1 is the score. Seattle Pacific with the ball, and this is looking very insurmountable. Falcons back in their own end. Getting the goal for Simon Fraser. That's what I thought. Number 10, make that number 10, Matteo Polizzi, rather. That's his second goal of the match.
His 13th of the year. Assist going to Mamadi Kamara. Simon Fraser on 5, and the Falcons
5-1 the score. So Polizzi getting it done. Let's check and see for just a second here. Simon Fraser handling the ball right, or the Falcons handling the ball here, going the other direction. That's a hat trick for Polizzi. Polizzi coming through with the 3 goals. He had one in the first half. He got one earlier in this half. And now he has a third one. A hat trick for him. Over on the far side. Falcons break it up. So another 5-goal game for Simon Fraser. Their third of the year to go with 2 6-goal games. And now with 42 goals scored on the season and allowing just 4. You start to do some math on that and see how many goals they are averaging per game. They average over 3.5 entering tonight's action. Simon Fraser now averaging 3.82 goals per game. Falcons with the ball in their back half, up towards the middle, and we have a substitution. Simon Fraser is going to make a change. Coming out of the match will be number 21, that is Marcelo Polizzi. And he is the brother of Matteo Polizzi. And then the new player coming in for Simon Fraser. That looks to be Joey Majalvasek. Going the other direction. Simon Fraser back, still just not letting up at all. And look out as Hellerin has to chase that ball down. And the Falcons, with their backs to the wall right here, near midfield. And if you're just tuning in,